Have you ever wondered if the smallest parts of your daily routine, those things you barely even think about, could quietly be putting your heart at risk? You wake up. Maybe you sip your coffee, check the news, shuffle through your day. It all feels normal, harmless. But what if I told you that hidden in those daily choices are habits that might be slowly wearing down the strongest muscle in your body? Your heart? I know, it's a scary thought. But here's the good news. You have far more control than you think. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 8 everyday habits. They often go unnoticed, but they have a powerful impact on your heart health. Some of them might surprise you. Others might sound familiar but are easy to ignore. Either way, these aren't just suggestions. They're lifelines. Whether you're trying to lower your blood pressure, boost your energy, or just stay strong and independent for years to come, this video could be your turning point. And don't worry, we're not talking about overhauling your life or giving up the things you love. Instead, we'll show you how tiny adjustments, things that take just a few minutes, can reduce your risk, support your heart, and help you feel better every single day. So before you go another day repeating the same old routine, stick with us. Because what you learn today could add years to your life and life to your years. Are you ready to give your heart the care it truly deserves? Let's dive into the first habit. Habit 1. Skipping morning sunlight, the silent start that sets you back. There's something most people don't realize about their mornings, especially as we get older. It's not just about what we eat or how we move. It's also about how we start the day with light, not turning on a lamp or flipping a light switch. I'm talking about real natural light, sunlight. You see, when you wake up and stay indoors, maybe reading the paper, making breakfast, or watching the news, your body misses an important signal, a signal that's been guiding human health for thousands of years. Morning sunlight tells your body it's time to wake up, to energize, to reset the internal clock that controls everything from mood to blood pressure. This isn't just about sleep. Your heart pays attention to light too. In fact, the early morning sun helps regulate your heartbeat, your blood pressure, and even the way your blood vessels expand and relax throughout the day. Without that signal, your heart may stay in a more alert, more stressed state. It ends up working harder than it needs to. And here's the thing. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to the way we start and end our days. If you spend too many mornings in dim indoor light, your natural rhythm, the one that tells your heart when to rest and when to work, can drift off course. That small shift can add up over time, leading to higher blood pressure, irregular heartbeats, and disrupted sleep that keeps the heart from repairing itself at night. But there's hope in something wonderfully simple. Stepping outside first thing in the morning, even for just a few minutes, helps reset that rhythm. The sunlight reaches your eyes and travels straight to the part of your brain that controls your internal clock. It's like flipping the switch on a calm, focused day. Your heart gets the message, it's morning, and it can settle into a healthy pace. You don't need to sunbathe or take a long walk. Just being in daylight, even on a cloudy day, tells your body it's time to begin. And the beauty of it is, this one change doesn't cost a thing. No medication, no equipment, just the choice to step out and let nature work its quiet magic. So tomorrow morning, instead of staying in the shadows, open a window, take a breath, and let the light hit your face. It may seem small, but for your heart, it's the perfect start. And once your body has that signal, the good morning it needs, the next step is just as important. Because what you do after that light hits your eyes can either fuel your heart or force it into overdrive. That next step, it's what you choose to eat or not eat when you break your overnight fast. Let's talk about breakfast, because it matters more than most people think. Habit 2. Skipping or mismanaging breakfast. The morning choice that can strain your heart. All day, once the day begins, once the light has reached your eyes and your body starts to wake up, the next decision comes quickly. And it's one that many people don't give much thought to anymore. It's breakfast. Now, I know some folks say they're just not hungry in the morning. Maybe you've gotten used to skipping it altogether. Or maybe breakfast means little more than a quick muffin or a cup of black coffee. But here's something most people never realize. How you break your fast after a night of rest directly affects how hard your heart has to work for the rest of the day. When you go hours without eating, especially after a night of sleep, your body starts pulling energy from stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. That might give you a bit of alertness at first, but it also raises your blood pressure, makes your heart beat faster, and increases inflammation in your arteries. Over time, it can put real strain on your cardiovascular system, even if you feel fine in the moment. Now let's say you do eat something, but it's mostly sugar or starch. A piece of toast with jam, a bowl of sugary cereal, a store-bought pastry. These kinds of foods might taste comforting, but they flood your bloodstream with fast carbs, sending your blood sugar skyrocketing and then crashing back down. That sugar roller coaster forces your heart to work harder to maintain balance, and it sets you up for fatigue, hunger spikes, and blood pressure swings later in the day. Here's where things get better. A heart-healthy breakfast doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to give your body what it actually needs after the long fast of sleep. Steady fuel, something with a little protein, a few healthy fats, some fiber to keep things moving. Even something as simple as a boiled egg and half a banana, or a bit of plain yogurt with berries, or peanut butter on whole wheat toast can make a huge difference. When you start the day with a meal that supports stable energy and balanced blood sugar, your heart can settle into a calmer, steadier rhythm. Think of it this way. Skipping breakfast or loading up on sugar is like asking your heart to run uphill first thing in the morning with no warm-up and no support. But giving it the right start, that's like walking it out gently with support at every step. So tomorrow, after that morning sunlight finds your face, don't rush past breakfast. Sit down, take your time, and feed your body something that fuels, not fights, your heart. Because that simple meal, done right, can ripple out through your entire day and every beat of your heart. And once you've given your heart the right start, there's one more quiet step that many people forget. It only takes a minute or two, but it can reveal dangers you'd never even feel. Let's talk about checking your blood pressure at home and why skipping it could be one of the most serious mistakes of all. Habit 3. Ignoring blood pressure at home. The silent numbers that could save your life. Most people wouldn't think twice about checking the gas gauge before a long drive or glancing at the speedometer to stay safe on the road. But when it comes to the body's own warning system, our blood pressure, many seniors don't check it at all unless they're already at the doctor's office. That's a mistake, and not a small one. You see, high blood pressure doesn't usually cause pain or obvious symptoms. That's what makes it so dangerous. It can creep up quietly over the years, slowly damaging your arteries, your kidneys, even your vision, without a single noticeable sign. And the organ it strains most? Your heart. When blood pressure is too high, your heart has to pump harder than it should just to get blood where it needs to go. Over time, this extra effort thickens the heart muscle, stiffens the arteries, and raises your risk of heart failure, heart attack, and stroke. And the worst part? Many people don't find out until it's already caused harm. The good news is, catching those early changes is easier now than it's ever been. Home blood pressure monitors are affordable, easy to use, and remarkably accurate when used properly. You don't need a nurse or a waiting room, just a quiet moment, a comfortable seat, and a habit of checking a few times a week, especially first thing in the morning, before breakfast or medication. Doing this regularly gives you and your doctor a clearer picture of how your heart is doing on a day-to-day basis, not just once or twice a year. It helps spot patterns, track medication effects, and most importantly, gives you the power to take action before something serious happens. And here's something many folks don't know. The stress of a clinic visit, often called white coat syndrome, can cause your blood pressure to rise temporarily. That means your numbers at home may tell a more honest story than the ones taken under fluorescent lights with a stethoscope nearby. Checking at home doesn't need to feel like a chore. It can be part of your morning routine, just like brushing your teeth or pouring your coffee. A simple habit that protects the very engine keeping you alive. So if your blood pressure cuff has been collecting dust on a shelf, or if you've never had one, this is your sign. Set it up, use it, write down your readings, and bring those notes with you to your next checkup. because your heart might be working harder than it has to. And the only way to know for sure is to listen to the numbers. Of course, knowing the numbers is only part of the picture. What you put into your body during the day can either help those numbers improve or push them even higher. And there's one area that's often overlooked, even though it's essential: water. Let's take a closer look at hydration and why it matters more to your heart than you might expect. Habit 4. Not drinking enough water. The hidden burden on your beating heart. By now, you've heard the importance of checking your blood pressure, keeping tabs on the silent numbers that reveal how your heart is coping day to day. But there's another silent signal you might be missing, one that's even easier to overlook: thirst. Many older adults don't feel thirst the way they used to. Maybe you notice your mouth is dry, or you feel a little lightheaded after standing up. You might chalk it up to age or the weather, or just a bad night's sleep. What you might not realize is that even mild dehydration puts added stress on your heart, and most people are walking around mildly dehydrated every single day. You see, your blood is made mostly of water. When you don't drink enough, your blood becomes thicker. That means your heart has to work harder to push it through your veins. Think of it like trying to squeeze syrup through a straw instead of water. It takes more force, more effort, and your heart feels every bit of that. On top of that, dehydration makes it harder for your body to regulate temperature, blood pressure, and circulation. That can lead to headaches, dizziness, muscle cramps, or even confusion. What it really means, quietly and gradually, is that your heart is carrying a heavier load than it needs to. The simple solution? Drink more water, but not all at once, and not just when you feel thirsty. The key is to make it a steady habit. Take little sips throughout the day, not big gulps only when you remember. And no, coffee and soda don't count. In fact, they can make things worse by pulling water out of your system. You don't need to aim for some magic number. Just take a look at your routine. Do you drink a glass when you wake up? One before lunch? Another with dinner? Do you keep water near your chair, your bed, or wherever you spend time? If not, that's a good place to start. You can even make water a little more inviting. Add a slice of lemon or cucumber. Use a favorite glass or tumbler that feels good in your hand. Set small reminders until it becomes second nature. Over time, better hydration helps your heart beat more efficiently. It lowers your resting heart rate and keeps your blood pressure more stable. You may notice fewer headaches, clearer thinking, and more steady energy. It's such a small act, lifting a glass of water to your lips. But for your heart, it can be the difference between strain and strength. And speaking of strain, there's another habit many of us fall into without realizing it, especially after meals or while reading, watching TV, or working at the computer. It seems harmless, but too much of it and too often can take a real toll on your heart. Let's talk about what happens when we sit still for too long. Habit 5. Sitting too long. When rest turns risky. After a good meal or during a quiet afternoon, it's perfectly natural to sit down and relax. Maybe it's in your favorite chair by the window, the recliner in the living room, or at the kitchen table with a crossword or a good book. There's nothing wrong with taking it easy. Your body needs rest. But here's the catch. When sitting becomes the main activity of the day after day, that rest can quietly turn into risk. You might be surprised to learn that prolonged sitting has been called the new smoking by some doctors, and for good reason. When we sit for long periods without moving, our blood circulation slows down. The calf muscles, which usually help pump blood back up toward the heart, go quiet. Blood can begin to pool in the legs. And all of this means your heart has to work harder just to keep things flowing. It doesn't matter if you feel fine or if your legs aren't aching. This process happens silently. Over time, it can raise your blood pressure, increase the risk of blood clots, and even lead to hardened arteries. The longer you stay still, the more your heart has to compensate, and the more worn out it can become. Now, here's the good news. You don't need to start training for a marathon to turn things around. In fact, just a little movement, spaced throughout the day, can make a world of difference. We're not talking about exercise classes or long walks, though those are great if you enjoy them. We're talking about standing up, shifting your weight, walking to the kitchen, stretching your arms overhead, marching in place during a commercial break. Every time you move, even just a little, you help your blood circulate more freely. Your heart gets a break. Your lungs expand more fully. Your muscles stay active, even gently. And that supports your balance, your strength, and yes, your cardiovascular health. If you've been sitting for an hour, give yourself a reason to stand. Refill your water glass. Step out onto the porch for a breath of fresh air. Walk to the mailbox even if there's no mail. These moments add up. They remind your body that it's built to move, even in small ways. The heart isn't just a pump. It's part of a living, moving system that depends on activity. Not nonstop motion, but gentle, regular movement. A signal that says, I'm alive, I'm awake, I'm still in this. And if you've ever noticed that your mind feels clearer, your breath steadier, or your mood a little lighter after getting up and moving around, that's no accident. Your heart knows when you're giving it what it needs. But sometimes, even when we move our bodies, we forget to care for what's happening inside our minds. The quiet pressure we carry, the stress that lingers without us even realizing it. And that brings us to another daily habit that might be wearing on your heart more than you think. Unmanaged stress. Habit 6. Letting stress linger. The quiet weight on your heart. Stress doesn't always come crashing in like a thunderstorm. Sometimes it's quieter. It slips in slowly and settles under your skin. A nagging worry, a long to-do list, the ache of loneliness, or just a sense that something isn't quite right. You may not call it stress, you may not even notice it, but your heart does. Your body has a built-in alarm system. When something feels off, whether it's real danger or just a disagreement at the pharmacy counter, it releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones are helpful in short bursts. They help you react, stay alert, and handle problems. But when they stay active for too long, they wear your heart down. Over time, that steady stream of low-level stress can raise your blood pressure, inflame your blood vessels, and throw your heartbeat out of its natural rhythm. You might feel a little more tired than usual, or find it harder to sleep, or get irritated over things that never used to bother you. These small signs are your body's way of saying, I need a break. And yet for many people, especially in later years, stress doesn't feel dramatic. It feels normal. Maybe you're helping care for someone else. Maybe you're worried about health, or money, or missing loved ones. Maybe you're doing your best to keep a brave face. That quiet weight can sit on your shoulders day after day, without anyone, including you, realizing how heavy it's become. But here's the truth. Caring for your heart isn't just about numbers or meals or medications. It's also about giving your mind a place to rest. And that rest doesn't have to come from a long vacation or hours of meditation. It can come from something as simple as breathing. Deep, steady, intentional breaths, just a few at a time, can calm your nervous system and lower your heart rate. Sitting quietly with a cup of tea, listening to music that brings you peace, writing down one or two things you're grateful for at the end of the day. These are not luxuries, they are tools for healing. When you give yourself permission to slow down, when you create small moments of quiet, you're not being lazy or selfish. You're being wise. You're giving your heart space to recover. Because even the strongest heart can only run on high alert for so long. So if you've been carrying a quiet burden, maybe without even knowing it, this is your reminder. It's okay to pause. It's okay to take care of yourself too. And one of the best times to do that is when your day winds down, when your body prepares for the deep healing work it was made to do each night. But if your sleep is restless or cut short, your heart never gets the break it's counting on. Let's talk about why sleep might be the most important habit of all. Habit 7. Neglecting sleep. When rest is no longer restful, after a long day filled with routines, conversations, quiet moments, and worries, your body looks forward to one thing above all: sleep. Not just any sleep, but deep, uninterrupted rest that allows your heart, brain, and every part of your body to repair and reset. For many older adults, that kind of rest feels harder and harder to come by. You might fall asleep just fine, only to wake up again at 2 a.m., wide-eyed in the dark. Or maybe your sleep is light and restless, and you wake up feeling as tired as when you went to bed. Over time, these broken nights can start to feel normal, But inside your body, something very important is being lost. It's the chance for your heart to heal. During deep sleep, your heart rate slows down. Your blood pressure drops. Your blood vessels relax. It is like a maintenance shift for your entire cardiovascular system. Hormones that repair tissues go to work. Inflammation decreases. The nervous system settles into a calm state that your heart depends on. When sleep is short or disrupted, none of these healing processes happen the way they should. The consequences add up. Chronic poor sleep has been linked to higher blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, increased plaque buildup in the arteries, and even a greater risk of heart attacks. Yet so many people dismiss sleep as something they just don't need as much of anymore, or something they simply can't fix. That isn't true. Sleep isn't just for the young. In fact, the older we get, the more our hearts rely on restful nights to stay strong and steady. You can't force yourself to sleep deeply, but you can create the right conditions for better rest. Start by treating bedtime as a gentle routine, not an afterthought. Set the same bedtime and wake-up time every day, even on weekends. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed. The blue light from phones and TVs can confuse your brain into thinking it's still daytime. If you like, try reading a calming book, stretching lightly, or listening to soft music. If your mind feels busy when you lie down, try a simple breathing pattern. Inhale slowly, hold for a moment, then exhale longer than you inhaled. That small shift can help your body move into a state of calm and rest. Good sleep is not a luxury. It is a vital part of your heart's daily care. It is where the real healing begins. Believe it or not, how well you sleep may even be influenced by something as basic as how you breathe. Your breathing patterns, often taken for granted, can have a powerful effect on your heart's rhythm, your stress levels, and your overall energy. Let's take a closer look at the habit that connects every part of your day, yet often goes unnoticed. It is the way you breathe. Habit 8. Forgetting to breathe right. The rhythm your heart has been waiting for. It sounds almost too simple to matter. Breathing, we all do it. Every minute of every day. It's automatic, invisible, something you rarely stop to think about. But the truth is, the way you breathe, how deeply, how often, how calmly, can shape the health of your heart more than most people ever realize. As we age, we tend to fall into shallow breathing patterns without even noticing. Maybe it's from years of sitting at a desk, or from carrying stress in the shoulders and chest, or simply from moving less than we used to. Over time, that shallow, quick breath becomes our new normal. We breathe high in the chest instead of low in the belly. We take in less oxygen with each breath, and we release less tension with each exhale. And what happens when the breath shortens? The body reacts. Your heart rate increases. Your blood pressure rises. Your nervous system slips into a state of alert, even if you feel calm on the surface. Over days and weeks, this quiet tension builds, placing extra strain on your cardiovascular system. But here is the good news. The breath works both ways. You can change how you feel, physically and emotionally, by simply changing how you breathe. You don't need special equipment or a class. All it takes is a few minutes and a little awareness. Try this. Sit comfortably. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Take a slow breath in through your nose, letting the air gently expand your belly, not your chest. Then breathe out even more slowly, through your mouth like you're blowing through a straw. Do this for just a few cycles. You might feel your shoulders drop, your heart rate begin to settle, your mind grow quieter. This is called diaphragmatic breathing, or belly breathing. Studies have shown that it can lower blood pressure, reduce anxiety, improve oxygen flow, and help regulate heart rhythms, especially in older adults. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about remembering that your breath is a tool. It's with you all the time, ready to help you soften stress, calm your heart, and reconnect to the present moment. So the next time your chest feels tight, or your thoughts are racing, or you're simply sitting in silence, wondering how to care for yourself better, start with your breath, not because it's trendy, but because it's ancient, because it works, and because your heart listens to every inhale, every exhale, and every pause in between. This is the final, gentle habit that ties everything together. From the sunlight that starts your morning to the breaths that close your night, your everyday actions shape the future of your heart, quietly, patiently, one beat at a time. Your heart, your habits, your time. You've just taken a thoughtful journey through 8 daily habits. Each one is small on its own, but together they shape the rhythm and resilience of your heart in powerful ways. Maybe a few of these were things you already sensed, maybe some surprised you. But here's what matters most. Every one of these habits is within your reach. They don't require major changes, expensive equipment, or trips to the doctor. They start with simple choices, quiet shifts, moments of care that begin and end right where you are. At home, in your chair, in your kitchen, in your own breath. It might be as easy as stepping into the morning light instead of staying in the shadows, eating a steadier breakfast instead of skipping or rushing, taking a moment to check your blood pressure, sipping some water, stretching your legs, or taking a deep, calming breath when the day feels heavy. And it might be choosing to protect your sleep, not just by going to bed earlier, but by making your bedtime a safe place for real rest. These are not chores. They are acts of kindness toward your body, toward the heart that has carried you through every joy, every challenge, and every memory. And here's something beautiful to remember. It's never too late to start. Whether you're 65 or 85 or anywhere in between, your heart is still listening. It is still learning. It still responds to love, to movement, to light, to rest, and to care. Every heartbeat is a chance to do just one thing differently today than you did yesterday. So don't try to change everything at once. Choose one habit, one moment, let it grow. Let it lead you gently into the next. Because your heart is not just an organ, it's a companion, a witness. And with the right habits, it can keep you strong, steady, and full of life for years to come. Here's to your next walk, your next deep breath, your next peaceful night, and every strong, steady heartbeat in between. You deserve that care, and your heart deserves the best of you.